President Trump is accusing the Obama administration of spying on him. Let's just call it what it is. That's what he's saying. Tomorrow, Republican leaders are going to go in for a confidential briefing. They're going to get information. They're going to come out. You will not be there. Democrats will not be there. They don't get to go until after Memorial Day. We have seen this movie before with the memos. Are you concerned that once again, we're going to have one narrative and then another narrative, and all of these good people are left not knowing what to believe?
Well, tomorrow it shouldn't happen. There shouldn't be a Republican briefing. You know, I have over 20 years of experience in terms of intelligence. I served on the committee. I was the top Democrat on the committee and ex officio as leader. And I've never seen anything like this. This is highly unusual that you would have such a briefing in the middle of an investigation. Highly unusual. And that it should be partisan is just totally unacceptable. So I don't think there will be, we want this, what we call the Gang of Eight. It's the 4 leaders and then the 4 top people on the committees, intelligence committees, House and Senate. And that's the appropriate venue for this. If it were proper at all, that would be the proper venue. But if they do that tomorrow, I think that puts a nix on a Gang of Eight briefing.
Now, because you have had so much time in and around the intelligence community, have you seen or heard anything that gives you legitimate concerns about what was done with investigations during the Trump campaign?
If I did, I couldn't tell you about it anyway. But the fact
that is highly unsatisfying. I have to tell you.
No, but the fact is, I have not. I'll just tell you that. But what I will tell you is that I'm very concerned about the disruption of our elections by the Russians. And it's so funny, today, in the last 24 hours, we've heard 2 things. We heard Secretary Pompeo say, I'm so proud of what the Trump administration has done to counter what happened in our elections. And at the same time, you had the Secretary of Homeland Security, which has the jurisdiction over elections, the security of our elections, say, I never heard of the intelligence assessment that the Russians were involved in our election. So it's I do think that the Trump administration should be doing more to protect the integrity of our elections, whatever else is happening.
Quick follow on that, and then let's go to the audience. The idea of what the Homeland Security Secretary said, the specific point was, I don't know that I've seen proof that the Russians were trying to help Trump with their meddling. Have you seen proof that that was their intention? Not the meddling, that's obvious, we all believe that now, but that they were out to help Trump specifically.
Okay. Let me just say, and I'm happy to answer all these questions, but you started out by talking about the election, and what we want to talk about is the future and what we propose to do to our purpose in making the future better for America's families, better jobs, better pay, better future, and a better deal. All of these things, in my view, are important. They're a responsibility, but they're a distraction from what American people are really concerned about. The integrity of our elections is very important. The intelligence community made an assessment, and they made it known in January 2017 that spoke directly to that point, and I accept their assessment.
All right. So the Russia investigation is, of course, on people's minds. So let's go to the audience, and the first question comes from Joshua Gonzalez, a law student at Georgetown. Thank you for joining us. What's your question?
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Joshua.
If Trump actually colluded with the Russians, why isn't he found guilty of it after a year of investigation? Wouldn't there be some type of concrete proof by now?
Well, you know that there is an investigation going on under Counsel Mueller, and that is where we wouldn't have any idea of what's going on in that, and nor should we know what's going on in that investigation. But it takes time, and I trust Counsel Mueller and his work.
To Joshua's question, when we get closer to the election, you wind up having a new problem with the probe, which is, what does Mueller do? If he gets too close, there are DOJ guidelines that says he has to wait until after the elections before anything comes out. Do you believe that Mueller should put out whatever he has before the election to give voters some sense of where he is?
Well, I think that Mueller should do what he thinks is right. And you know, there have been I think there are 20 indictments, one directly associated with the campaign Manafort, 13 Russians, 3 not only indictments but convictions. So he has produced a great deal, in fact, quite a great deal for 1 year into an investigation. But again, what's important about this right now for the American people is, are we going to have an election that is not disrupted by any foreign power? And that, I don't believe that the Trump administration has taken responsibility to ensure. And I think that's wrong. And so that's one of the fights we're having, is to say we have to have the integrity of our election. This is about our democracy. This is the oath that we take to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And people should understand that when they vote, if they're eligible to vote, that their vote will be counted as cast by them, not distorted by a foreign power.